Welcome to all of you dear students. Today's topic is defining classes, access specifiers, that is public, protected, private or default access specifier, different types of the classes in Java and creating objects. We are at the unit 2. Today we are going to start with unit number 2, that is usage of objects and classes. And these topics we are going to discuss today. So let us begin with the first topic, that is defining your own classes. Now what is the class in Java? Classes and objects, this is the heart of the object oriented programming language. And what is the class? It is a blueprint for an object. An object is an instance of the class. Class is a user defined data type, and whenever you declare a class, the new data type is created. Java API contains a rich set of predefined classes and packages. This is the innovative concept provided in Java. A class defines a new data type, and the data and operations on data are encapsulated in a class. In other words, class is a template that contains data variables and the methods that operate on those data variables. In general, structure of class is given on the next slide. So this is the structure of the class. See what is the syntax given. The very first part is the modifiers, then name of the class, class keyword, and then name of the class, then extends, class name, implements, interface 1, 2 and so on. Now here modifier is the optional part which is given in the square brackets. Class is the keyword. Then here we are providing the user defined class name, that is compulsory, hence it is given in this angular brackets. Then if you want to implement the inheritance, you can use this extends keyword and then class name, the class which is to be extended. If you want to implement the interface, then you can use this implements keyword and then give the name of the interface. If there are more than one interfaces to be implemented, then you can give the comma separated list of interfaces. Now this is the class declaration. Then in curly brackets, what you can give? You can give the instance variables, you can give class variables, constructors, methods. Then in methods, declare the method, then write down the body part of the method, then nested class declarations and initializer block. So you can write these contents in the class. So instance variables, these are the data members or attributes which belongs to each object. In class variable, these are static data members which belong to the class. Then constructors, these are special member functions which are used for object creation. Then methods, these are the member functions of the class. And these methods are user defined methods. Then nested classes and interfaces declarations, that is these are the classes which are defined within the class. And initializer block, this is used to initialize static variables. So Java statements which are used for initialization of the static variables, that is the initializer block. So this is the template of the class. Whenever you want to write any class in the Java, you can use this syntax and you can declare the class. Class contains, see what class contains. This is just an example. Here there is a class, the class name is int addition, and public is the access modifier or access specifier. So this is the class name, public is the access modifier, and these are the instance variables. So here number 1, number 2 and result, these are three integer variables. Those are declared in the class. So these are instance variables. Then add is the method, and this method has initialization of these two integers, that is number 1 and number 2, and then addition of these two numbers that is stored into this result, and that result is displayed here. That is addition is system.out.println, addition is, and then value of result. So this is the user defined method. So this class execution begins from main function. So in main function, the object of class is created, that is int addition, a is equal to new int addition. Here a is the object, and using that object this method is called. So a dot add, this calls the method, and then method will execute and displays the output of this addition, that is 30. So this is just an example. Whenever you want to write the class, how you can write the class, you can write using this way. You can use access modifier, then class keyword, then class name, declare the members, member functions. So in general, class declaration include these two types of the components. First one is the class header and second one is the class body. Class header include again many parts like class name preceded by the keyword class, then scope or accessibility modifier, that is public or private, that means class to be declared as public or private. Then additional class modifiers, that is abstract or final, and then name of the class which is to be extend, that means if you want to implement the inheritance, then you can specify the name of the class to be extended, and then name of the interface which is to be implemented in the current class. So you can write these parts in the class header. Then in class body, what you can declare? You can declare instance variables, class variables, constructors, methods, then nested class and interface declaration, and initializer block. Just now on previous slide we have discussed these parts. Instance variable, the data members or attributes which belong to the each object. Class variable, these are static data members which belong to the class. Constructors, these are special members or member functions which are used for object creation. Methods, these are the member functions of the class. Nested class and interface declaration, these are classes which are defined within the class. And initializer block, just now I said, whenever you want to initialize static variables, then you can use these statements in initializer block. So this is about the class, what class contains. The next part is access specifiers. Now here we are using access specifiers or access modifiers. See here, public is the access modifier, so we can call it as access specifier. So there are different types of the access specifiers. So what are those? Those are given here. There are four types of the access specifiers. Actually there are only three, and default means no modifier. So public is the access specifier, which means that whatever members you are declaring as public, those are visible to the world. Protected means members are visible to package and all subclasses. Default means you are not giving any modifier, that means those members are visible to the package. And if you are declaring any member as private, that means that member is visible to class only. There are two levels of access control for these access specifiers. First one is at the class level and second one is at the member level. So at the class level, what does this mean? Class level access control. A class may be declared as a public or without any modifier. So in our previous example, we have declared the class as public. If it is declared as public, it is accessible to all classes everywhere. And if it is not declared with any modifier, the default access is package. That means if you are not giving any modifier, by default the class scope is package. So it is accessible only within its own package. And what is the meaning of at the member level access control? A member, that means a variable or that may be a method, may be declared as public, private, protected, or you may not specify any identifier. The public modifier and no modifier has the same effect as before. If it is private, the member can be accessed only in its own class. The protected modifier specifies that member can only be accessed within its own class and in addition by a subclass of its class. That means in the same package or in another package. Now there is a table given on this screen. In this table, the first column is the visibility of the members, then access specifiers, that is public, protected, and private. And if you are not specifying any access specifier, then default will be the access to the package or that member will be visible to the package. So if visibility is from the same class, that means what? If you are declaring any member in the class which is public, then from the same class it is accessible, hence here yes is given. Then from any class in the same package, that means that member, if you are trying to access from any class in the same package, any other class in the same package, then also it will be accessible, hence here yes is given. Then if the member is public and you are trying to access it from a subclass in the same package, that means inherited class is trying to access that public member, then also it will be accessible. So yes is given. Then if you are trying to access it from a subclass outside the same package, then also it will be accessible because it is public. And if you are trying to access from any non-subclass class outside the package, that means there is a class which does not belong to the inheritance or which is not inherited one, then this public member is also accessible in the that non-inherited class. Public members which are declared in the class, those are accessible from anywhere, that may be from the same class or that may be from the outside of the class. Next part is protected members. So if we are declaring some members in the class and if those are protected, their scope is protected, then they are accessible from the same class, they are accessible from any class in the same package, they are accessible from a subclass in the same package, they are accessible from subclass outside the same package but through the inheritance. So if inheritance is there, then protected members are accessible in the subclass. That subclass may be in the same package or that may be outside of the same package. And if you are trying to access that protected member and if there is no inheritance and that class which is accessing that member, that class is outside of the package, then that protected member is not accessible from that class. Then default means if you are not specifying any modifier, then it will be accessible from the same class. It will be accessible from any class in the same package. It will be accessible from a subclass in the same package, but it is not accessible in the outside of the package. So here for these two rows, that is from a subclass outside the same package and from any non-subclass outside the package, here there is a keyword no. Now this means what? It is not accessible outside of the package. It is accessible to the classes which are declared in the same package. So that may be same class, or that may be subclass, or that may be any other class in the same package. And what is the last one? If you are declaring the member as private, then that will be accessible in the same class only. Hence here for first row only yes is given. For all other rows, that means for accessing that member outside of the package, it is not possible. So here no is given. So public is accessible everywhere and private is accessible in the same class only. So this is about the access specifiers. Next part is the types of the classes. So Java allows creation of following types of the classes. What are the types of the classes? Three types: concrete class, abstract class, and interface or pure abstract class. Now concrete class means what? It is a class which can be instantiated. It is a complete class which defines data members, defines constructors, define methods, that means member functions, and can also be subclass, that means it can be used in inheritance. Abstract class, it is an incomplete class which cannot be instantiated. It often defines data members, it defines the constructors, it defines some methods, and it declares the other methods, that means which those methods which can be used in inheritance. So abstract class, kindly note, it is incomplete class and which cannot be instantiated. It is used for declaration of the members, and abstract class is used in the inheritance. In C++, if you want to declare the abstract class, then you can write some methods as virtual. The next one is the interface or pure abstract class. An interface is a pure abstract class and it simply declares methods and can define constants as well. So in C++, a pure abstract class is a class with all pure virtual methods. Here in Java, interface, or it is also called as pure abstract class, it simply declares the methods and it can define constants as well, and it is used in the inheritance. So these are the classes of the Java. What are the three types? Concrete class, abstract class, and interface or pure abstract class. Concrete class has a detailed declaration and access of the members in the class. Abstract class is the incomplete class, whereas concrete class is the, you can say, complete class, or whatever definitions you want to give, all those definitions can be given in the concrete class. But abstract class can have the declarations or partial definitions, and interface or pure abstract class, it simply declare the members in the class, interface. Next part is the creating objects. Now we know that how to declare the class. Just now we studied how to declare the class. Next part is how to create the objects. So creating the objects of the class, this is also called as instantiation. So whenever you declare the object of the class, that means you are instantiating an object. So it defines a new data type. Once defined, this new type can be used to create the object. And just now we studied a class defines a new data type, and once defined, you can use that data type for creation of the object. There is a declaration of the object. What is the declaration? My rectangle R1. So here my rectangle is the class name and R1 is the object name. Then R1 assigns to new my rectangle. This is instantiation, that means memory for that object is allocated here. Or in a single line you can write this way: my rectangle R1 is equal to new my rectangle. So what is the syntax? Class name object name equal to new class name. This is the syntax for creation of the object. So here my rectangle is the class name, R1 is the object name, then new keyword, and again my rectangle is the class name. So using this way, using this syntax, you can create any object. So if you are writing say 10 classes and you want to create the 10 objects, then also you are going to follow the same syntax. That means class name object name is equal to new class name. So this syntax is used for creating the objects. How to declare and create the object, just now we saw, that is depicted in this figure. You can declare the object. So what is the action? Declaration of the object, like this way: my rectangle R1. So whenever you declare the object, initially this R1 has null reference. Then instantiate the object. After object is created using this new keyword, R1 points to the object, and here is the my rectangle object. So my rectangle class will have some members and some methods. Those members and methods are accessible using this my rectangle object R1. So initially object is declared and it will have the null reference. After that, whenever you are using this instantiation, then it is actually created, and then you can access the methods or variables using that object. The next part is creating object, that is references to same object. Before that, we'll just recall this slide. What are the two steps for the creation of the object? First one, declare a variable of class type. That means here you have declared the variable my rectangle R1. And what is the second step? Acquire an actual physical copy of the object and assign it to that variable using new operator. So what is the purpose of new operator? To allocate the memory dynamically for the object and returns the reference to it. So first step, declare the object, and second step, instantiation. These are the two steps followed in the creation of the object. The next part is here references to the same object. Now see what is the note given here. Two or more references can refer to same physical object in the memory. Kindly note the word same physical object. So here there is a my rectangle class. My rectangle class has two members, length and breadth. These are the variables in the my rectangle class. And if you have declared, suppose, the object R1, or you have created the object R1, not just declared, there is a complete creation of the object R1. How you can create that R1? My rectangle R1 equal to new my rectangle. So you have created the object R1, and suppose that you are using the other object, and that other object refers to the same physical object in the memory. That means R2 refers to R1. So suppose you are assigning R2 to R1. That means R1 assigns to R2. If you are using this statement, then this R1 and R2 both refer to same class and same physical object in the memory. So you can access the members of MyRectangle class using either R1 or R2 because both are referring to same physical object in the memory. So what are the topics which we discussed today? We discussed about the referring to the same object, then declaration and creation of the object, two steps in the creating the object, and then types of the classes, access specifiers, then what are the contents in the class, template of the class, and what is the class in the Java. So if you have any query, you can write down that in the notebook and share it in the Google Classroom, or we will have the discussion about it in the live meet. So for today, thank you so much and have a nice day.